live, at least with the YouTubes. We're live. Hi, welcome to. I get all these podcasts mixed up at this point. I don't even know. Michael's here.
You only do 3 podcasts, Logan. Come on, keep it in check.
I'm confused. Out of it this week. Let me check one more thing. Very good. Hello and welcome to episode number 95 of Millennial Gaming Speak for the week of May 28th. I am your host, Logan Moore, and with me this week are some fellow citizens. We have with us this week special guest Michael Ruiz. Hi, Michael.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
I'm good. And then we have with us, as always, is Max Roberts. Hi, Max.
Bam! I'm here. As always, that's the normal thing. Michael, we do other podcasts with you, don't we?
Yeah. Logan does Reeling in the Years with me, which I personally really enjoy. Again, probably not recorded this week.
I'll talk about that.
I'll talk about that some other time. And we do the Model Citizens show together.
And you've been on this show like 3, 4, 5
I've been on this show
this
twice. And now
twice.
I think this is 3
You and I did a solo
now.
one. And then
This is 3 times now.
This is 3, yeah. And then you did the predictions one with us as well.
And then we did a PlayStation Insider podcast together.
That's right. I forgot about that one too.
Dark times indeed.
Dark times.
So we've done a couple. By the way,
Yeah.
Psychonauts came out yesterday. If you didn't know,
Psychonauts?
no, inside joke with PSI.
Okay.
Welcome to Millennial Gaming Speak this week, episode 95. We got one more until our predictions episode next week for E3. But another episode this week, filling that gap in before we get into the more meaty things that I think all of us are waiting for. But yeah, as always, remember that I'm trying to remember to feed the people the things they need to know at the top of the show from now on. So just remember, Millennial Gaming Speak is a part of Model Citizens Media. You can find everything else we do podcast-wise over at modelcitizensmedia.com. You can follow us on Twitter over there at ModelPods. And you can also follow the show at Millennial Gaming Speak. Like, share all the podcasts and all that stuff that helps us, all that good stuff. So, video games, though. What's been up with that for you guys?
Michael, do you hear the sound of a train in the distance?
I asked you what you're playing. We're not talking about E3 yet.
But
So what are you playing, boy?
I play more Persona, played more Destiny, same old.
Why are you playing Destiny?
I'm doing a final hurrah
Why?
before Destiny 2. I'm just doing each raid one more time. I've done 2 of the 4. So
I have a question for you about Persona. How fast are you playing that game? Because you said you're 35 hours in, you've done 3 of the 5 dungeons?
I don't know how many dungeons there are. I've done there's at least
5.
I think there's at least 3 more characters I have to get, so I assume there's at least 3 more. Yeah, I'm 35 hours in. I'm playing it at, I think, an average pace. I'm not dilly-dallying too much.
Do you drag all of them out until the furthest possible and complete it at the last second?
No, because it's not like Persona 4. Once you complete it, you still get all those days. So I just complete it when I'm ready and then do the rest of my days. Yeah, I'm playing it at I feel like a normal pace. 35 hours in.
Okay.
Seems like you were faster than a lot of people. That's why I was curious. Some people I know are like, oh, just finished the 3rd one. I'm 60 hours in. So it seemed like you were going faster for some reason.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm wrong about that. I've only
maybe
seen
they're doing
secondhand speak about that game. But so Destiny, quit playing. Yeah, quit playing.
I got 2 more
Destiny.
raids. I'm almost done. And
Quit playing
then
Destiny. Stop.
No, it's fun. What else? I played some of the Arms Global Test Punch, which I think we're going to talk about later. I've also been playing another beta that we've all been playing.
Yeah.
A little game called Nex Machina.
Well, that was going to be my topic, so.
We'll talk about that up here. Okay. So we've all been playing that. Let's just get into that.
Yeah, let's just get into that.
Nex Machina, I got us all beta keys. Not really, but sort of. That's kind of truthful. But
Logan was our hookup.
We've all been playing that. Housemarque's doing a beta for the game on PS4 through Thursday of this week. So, I mean, if you don't have a code now, like, chances are you're screwed. So that beta goes through Thursday. It started on Friday, so we've been playing that. You get to play the first 3 levels of the game. There's actually a lot more to do in it than I expected. Like, there's 2 or 3 different game modes you can choose from, and then 3 different levels to play.
3 full levels, yeah.
there is like so much more depth to this game than what I imagined. Like even more than like, so Michael and I played at PSX, and I think we were sold on just the gameplay there, but
Yeah.
actually sinking my teeth into the levels and seeing how much there is in each level is really staggering to me. And
there's like 5 secret humans per level. There's around 70 humans per level to save. There's like other things you have to kill to build up your score, secret areas. I still haven't found everything in world 1.
I still don't know like how to get all the scoring options too, because every now and then it'll be like mini game complete, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what mini game did I just do? Like,
I don't know. I'm slowly figuring it out. I think I've even put it on rookie just so I could run around the levels and not really worry. No, to find secrets.
That's for posers, dude.
Yeah, you're lame, dude.
All right, I'm trying to find the secrets. And this game is Resogun on crack.
It's
Straight up
Robotron.
crack.
It's Robotron.
Yeah, it's straight up Robotron, dude, which is like one of my favorite arcade games. So I'm super stoked on it. I really dig it right now.
It's kind of addictive.
Yeah,
It's super addictive for me.
Just a smidge.
Yeah.
like there's not many games that focus on high scores anymore, so it's really refreshing when one comes out where that's all it is that you're really worrying about, is trying to get as high a score as possible. Like I'll get like 5 or 6 levels or boards or whatever you want to call them into level 1, and if I screw something up, I start over immediately. If I don't do a clean run through of that first level, then I start it all over. And that's, I mean, I think I've only done one clean run through though of the first level, and even then I screwed some things up and didn't get some of the humans, and I still don't know where one of the secret areas is on that first level, even though I've played it like 15-20 times at this point. I have no idea where, because I got every possible human that I thought I could get, and then when I got to the end, there was still like 13 of them missing.
Did you take the secret exit?
Yeah, I've been taking the secret exits, so I know where 3 of them are.
There's 5,
and there has to be another one because I can't find it. I don't know where it is right now.
Interesting.
We'll talk later to figure out which ones are missing, because I think I found them all. So in world
In the
1,
first level,
yeah, in world 1,
I've found 3 of them. How many have you found?
5.
You found 5 secret exits in that first? Okay, then I guess I'm obviously missing 2 of them. So I think there's so once you get into the other levels after that, I think there's a pattern to it. Like the one that, like, it follows like a Mario type structure or something like that, where it's like board 1-1, 1-2, 1- whatever. So on 1-2, I know there's 1-3, I think there's a secret area.
There is.
And then on 2-3, there's a secret exit as well. I think there's secret exits on the same
That'd be interesting.
board, or I don't know what to call it. Is it the overall thing of the level and then one board on each thing? I think each board on each of the world has a secret exit on those things. So if you know that and those start lining up, then maybe you can, like, okay, I'm at this place. There has to be
I'll have to test the theory out, because that's really what I've been focusing on, is finding all the secrets. But you only need to use 4 inputs and 2 of those buttons. It's so simple. It's just the twin stick shooter, and then you've got your dash, which is L1, and your secondary weapon, which is R1. And what is your guys' favorite secondary weapon? Because I have a few, but I have some I hate as well.
I really like the sword.
Sword is OP.
Yeah,
I haven't used this sword really too much.
Sword's great.
The thing that sucks about the sword, though, is that I misjudge where I am placed, and so I'll go for the hit, but I'll get hit and then I'll die, which kind of sucks. But
my
that
favorite
thing goes crazy.
My favorite's the power shot. It's the one you just charge up for a little bit. And you can line it up a bit.
Rocket launcher is pretty good too.
Yeah, I like the rocket launcher.
The detonator one sucks because it doesn't do like any damage at all. Like it's really bad.
It does damage. It's good crowd control, but I just don't like throwing it out there and then detonating.
It's only good for the smaller enemies. I had a detonator on a boss, and it was like I wasn't shooting him with anything at all. Like it was not doing any damage to the boss alone. So like you said, good for crowd control, but it's terrible on those bosses. Whereas like a laser or rocket launcher actually helps you in those situations.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's really good. I think it's early. Obviously, full game's out June 20th. I think it's better than Resogun so far. It's a lot harder too. So I'm going to keep coming back to it because I want to get better at it. Like Resogun took me a while to get good at as well. But once you learn how to use your boosts in that game, I feel like you're good to go and you can kind of run through Resogun somewhat easily. Like, I don't know. There's more of a pattern to Resogun. Like this is way more skill based and way more dodging based as well.
There's definitely patterns.
There's definitely a pattern to this game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. There is like, and there's certain things like certain items like once you get them, like once you get the triple dash and the dash explosion,
those are best.
You are you almost need those. The earlier in the levels you can get those, the better off you're going to be. Because if you get those way late in the level, you're kind of screwed. Like there's some parts where like if you don't have the triple dash, I think it's like very hard to save some of the humans on those levels.
Yeah.
You almost need it. It's great. You feel really good doing it too. I actually just beat the World 3 boss right before we did this.
Yeah, that's hard as balls. Like that's one of the most insane levels I've seen in a game in a really long time.
It's crazy.
I died like 10 times on my first run through of that.
Did any of you guys play Fury?
Mm-mm. Yeah, a little bit.
It was free on PS Plus a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I played it a little bit. I think like a third of the way through or something like that.
Yeah, it's a boss rush game pretty much. And a lot of the stuff in Nex Machina like really kind of reminded me of those because the bosses in those and very much the last boss of Fury is just freaking ridiculous. I'm like, I can't beat this game. I'm just going to tone it down to easy. I don't care at this point. But for Nex Machina though, I haven't even gotten to the third one. I haven't played it, I don't think, as much as you guys have. Because I played quite a bit when it first came out. Yeah. But I only really completed maybe 5 times because I kept on restarting.
I keep really honing in on World 1 because I want to find all the secrets. So I've been slow to like advance.
That's what I've done too. Like I've only beaten World 3 once or something like that.
So yeah, I got to the second boss, and that's like when it reminded me of that stuff because there's like so many things shooting at you, but it is a pattern.
Yeah, and you just have to dodge and dash your way through it. It's a really good game. When's it come out, Logan? June 20th?
June 20th, yeah. The third level boss, there's way less of a pattern, and that's what makes it hard, is that it'll have certain attacks where there's patterns to it that you can dodge. Well, some of those, it's just like, I'm shooting bullets in every direction, and it's like, I have to find a hole to dash into really quickly, and if you don't, then you're screwed.
Yeah,
you got to be really quick on your toes on that third boss. It's very hard.
I'm excited to see the trophies for this game.
Yeah, I am too. I'm actually really looking forward to that at this point.
I went after that platinum in Resogun, and it was satisfying to get, and I cannot wait to play Resogun.
I mean
Nex Machina and go for it.
So I don't know about you guys, but this is like a day one purchase for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very easily.
Yeah,
like this
for sure.
So this is just a beta right now, but this is one of my favorite things I've played all year. I think
it's pure gameplay. It is pure refined gameplay, which is very nice.
Which in a year with a lot of other really good games, the fact that this beta is one of my favorite things that has come out so far is saying a lot, because there has been, I mean, we've talked about it 1,000 times. It's been one after another this year. So
yeah,
this beta is really good though. And the full game is shaping up nicely. And I'm really excited to get the full version. And I'm probably going to go play it again later today. I haven't really played it too much since Friday, honestly. So I'm kind of right there with you, Michael. But I did do a one run through of all 3 levels. So one quick question mainly about PlayStation 4 in general, but kind of dealing with this game as well. Do you guys ever lose connection with your controller? Like the way in which you're aiming or trying to look or something like that, there's like a delay to it and it screws up like the way you're looking. This can happen in any games. Like I've been playing through The Last of Us as well. And it happens to me all the freaking time. And I don't know why.
Not happened to me.
Yeah,
I have to either reset my controller or I have to go plug it in via a cable and it's like it resyncs and then I can unplug.
Maybe you need a new controller.
It's both of my controllers are like that.
Huh.
So I don't know. It doesn't happen all the time, but
I'd Google the problem, see if it's a known thing.
I've looked it up and like I don't really know.
Have you done a factory reset on the controller?
Yeah, I mean, I've hit the button in the back. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
It's weird. I mean, it's happened to me for years. Like, this is a very old problem. Like, it first started cropping up with, I think, when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 5.
Is there anything blocking your TV, like your PlayStation?
As weird as it sounds, like sometimes if I put my knees up, like while I'm sitting on my chair and I like hold my controller in my lap with my knees in front of it, I feel like that's when it happens. It's weird. It's very strange. It's like a Super Nintendo wireless controller where you have to point it directly at the console to make sure that it's reading.
Yeah, that's weird, dude.
So I don't know what the deal is. It's odd, but
I just looked up Nex Machina on the PlayStation Store. It's currently actually, if you pre-order it, it's on sale.
Yeah, it's
for pre-orders. So you get it,
I think
$15.99. So swoop in there and get that. It does. It did say though it's like December, so I guess the store hasn't updated with the release date yet.
Yeah, soundtrack's killer too. That's the other.
Yeah, dude, that
it's the same
soundtrack
guy
is so good.
Same guy as Resogun.
So it is.
I think it's better than Resogun's though.
Yeah, I'm just saying the guy though is the same. It's the same musician.
Yeah, Housemarque has been very.
I was worried
cool
too
lately.
after Alienation because I just didn't have fun with that game.
Different team within Housemarque 1. Also different style of game that they're going for.
Yeah, but I thought
Resogun. That was their take on like a Diablo or something like that compared to Resogun, which is like twin stick arcade shooter.
Yeah,
so
I felt that was like the spiritual successor to like Dead Nation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. They have different games working or different styles of games. So I'm like interested to see what Matterfall looks like in turn because that's a platformer. So really curious to see that, and I hope we see it soon. But yeah, Housemarque's been cool. I mean, they sent us 200 codes at DualShockers to give out to people, so that was really cool of them. So yeah, I'm very excited for the finished product, and it's a good game. Let's talk about another beta. Let's talk about how sucky Arms is because it's.
Oh wow, okay, because you were gonna save this for later.
It's trash. I don't think we're saving it for later. I figured we'd talk about it at the top of the show. Other beta we've all been playing is Arms, the test punch freaking, you can only play for 1 hour at a time because we're Nintendo and we're stupid. Yeah, that's really dumb.
I
mean, I get why they do it though. It is a stress test on their servers.
It's dumb. I don't defend it. It's idiotic.
That's stupid. Like,
I get why they do it. I don't agree with it, but I get why.
I think it's a horrible explanation for why they do it.
I mean, when that's part of why you test an online game in a beta is to test the servers. So I do get it. I think it's dumb, but
an hour. It doesn't.
Because that's a confined set of time, I guess. Again, I don't know. I just understand why.
I mean, explain it though. Like I don't understand why.
It's so they can draw in as many users in one set amount of time to stress test their servers. They want this game to run as smooth as possible at launch online. That's why they do it.
I mean, I feel like just
that's exactly other betas I've played are like open all weekend, and then the developers tweet out.
Have a closed beta then. Like if you want to test it, just do it at closed sessions. Like this 1 hour stuff is just obnoxious. Like you have to like plan your day out around it. And like I just happened to be around yesterday when one of them went live, and so I played, but
no, I do agree. It's dumb that you have to schedule around it, but I get it from the developer side why they set it up. But that is not talking about the game.
No, that's definitely a factor though, because I was
not about the game
playing
itself.
and it's like, oh, you can't play anymore. So that was weird.
But that's not about the game itself.
Okay, the game itself ain't much better. Arms is a messy game.
How's it messy?
It's
I'm not gonna say it's
just like there's
not flail your arms like this.
There's depth to it, but there is no structure from the people, from both myself and the people I've played so far with the game.
Really, I've gotten in some very intense matches with quite a bit of strategy.
Motion controls are also horrible. Like
I find them way better than the Pro controller.
then
way more responsive.
You're smoking crack or something. Like I tried to use them and it was like I can't move.
I was moving very fluid because when I played with the Pro Controller, I found that I didn't have control over my punching, like the direction I wanted it to curve my punches and stuff. Doing the motion controls lets you pat your head and rub your belly at the same time, so to speak. It lets you do two things at once, and I like that. It made me feel pretty good. Ribbon Girl was OP. Her quad jump and her quick dash down. It's all about how you move around and stuff. That's really where the game comes in, is movement, not so much how you punch. And you don't flail your arms like this. You just flip.
No, I was just saying that's the game, though, is just everybody flailing all around. Like, it's very, I think 1v1 is pretty fun. Every other game mode I thought was a hot disaster. Like volleyball? Horrible.
That was so bad.
I didn't care for volleyball. I was like, I'd rather do the basketball one. I want to try that one out.
There's basketball?
There's a basketball one where you have to grab your opponent and slam dunk them.
I'm gonna guess that's just as bad. I'm gonna take
it's probably is, guess. But I mean, it's kind of cool, the idea to slam dunk your opponent. I had fun with it. I thought it was a very fun game. I don't think I'll buy it though, because I wouldn't stick around to play online. That's what this game is playing online against other people, and I wouldn't stick around and play it like that.
I was just very bored very quickly. Like, so we talked before we came on the air, we were talking about this a little bit. So my first few matches, I was like actually kind of into it. And then after I had played about 5, I was like, yeah, this is very one-dimensional. And there's a little bit of depth within both the characters and the mechanics themselves, but just every match started feeling the same. And that's why what I was talking about with the 2v2 stuff, like that is out of control. Like too much stuff going on at once. And then I hated some of the maps as well. That stair map,
the stair one is I did not have fun on.
That's terrible. And that's one of the ones they're like pushing to try. Like there's only 3 maps.
There's the test tube one, the stair, and then the spring one.
The normal one, the stadium looking
one.
It became very one-dimensional to me very quickly, and I found myself bored. So actually by the end of the hour, I was like, all right, yeah, that's about it for me with Arms. I don't know.
What about you, Michael?
I mean, I am enjoying my time with Arms. I think it's fine. I'm like you, Max, where I'm definitely not gonna buy it. Like, there's no way I'm gonna buy this game. They have to show me more, because it's pretty much a more complicated Wii boxing game. Like, there's nothing really that much crazier about it. And I hate the motion controls. I thought they were god awful, because I don't understand. Yeah, like when I would punch to the right, but it would go to the left. I'm like, why is it going to the left? That makes no goddamn sense.
The curve.
Well, that was my thing. I couldn't get them to curve either.
If I'm curving to the right, like if I'm making it try to go that way to the right, why would it go this way if I'm making it try to curve to the left, why would it go curve to the right? Like, I didn't get it.
Okay.
So I started playing with the controller and I thought it was way better. The thing of it is that like it's trying to be kind of like a fighting game, right? It is a fighting game.
That's exactly what it is.
But it's not like a Street Fighter or like anything like that. Like, you're not gonna go watch esports of Arms. Nobody's gonna do that. Like, I was hoping, and I knew it wouldn't be that, but I was hoping kind of like, oh, I hope this is like kind of competitive in that sort of fashion. Like, there's a strategic way to play this, and there is, but there's really not. It's very base level. It's nothing crazy or anything like that.
It's hard. Is the strategy is movement, is out maneuvering your opponent.
I think the hitboxes are ridiculous. Like, they're dumb. Like, I don't understand them. Like the whole power thing, like the yellow triangle power thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you get it. Like, because I've had it where I'm losing, right? And theoretically, you would want the loser to get that power, so then you can kind of come back.
It's landing punches is how you power it up.
That's really dumb.
That's dumb, because then the person just. Well,
it's landing punches, it's guarding, and then sometimes they throw that yellow bottle out, and then you can stand in that.
That's dumb.
That's
that's
have you played? I don't think he's played either of these though. Have you ever played a Mortal Kombat or Injustice, Max? Or
I've played like
many other fighting games.
Any fighting game.
Yeah, I've played some in an arcade.
The way you build up your supers typically is if you're getting wailed on, then your power meter is going to go up faster. It's almost like an even the playing field type thing. So with arms, it's like if you're wailing on somebody, then you're also getting the superpower at the same time.
You do get it though.
But
I've been wailed on and I got it when I got back up.
Yeah,
no,
but
I had somebody use 2 ultras against me in one match and I didn't get anything.
Yeah. I think there's some there's crazy balancing issues in this game. I thought the mummy guy is hot trash. He is
all the big slow characters are bad.
He is so bad.
Oh, they're all anything big and slow is bad.
Well, yeah, then there's the girl with the mech. Like she's horrible too.
Big and slow.
So I don't know.
There you go. Discount
I really like
third of the roster right there.
Yeah, like it was just the balancing is awful. There's not really much of strategy there. Like I was hoping. Like I was hoping for like a Nintendo fighting game, and I guess maybe I should just play Super Smash Brothers. But like I don't know. It just wasn't as in depth as I wanted it to be.
That's fair.
I mean, I think it could be fun if you had people in the same room playing with you.
Yeah.
But as far as like kind of like what Michael's saying, I mean, this game is not going to be something you see in an esports tournament or not. Or even if it is there, like it's something that I wouldn't take seriously because I play games like Street Fighter or even Smash to a degree. And it's like, there's another there's a completely different side of this game that I will never explore for myself, but I know it's there. And for those people who want to unlock that part and become like gods of this game, they can. I'm not seeing that with arms really right now.
No.
Like I'm sure people will start using the blocks in different ways or find certain combinations of one arm and another. Like I brought up to Michael while we were playing, like I was enjoying getting one where you could kind of the laser one. I forget which character.
The dragon,
use that to kind of keep people at bay, and then if they get in, come in with a bigger arm on the other side. So that was kind of cool. Like I was like figuring out good combinations and stuff like that. But like, there's not the same amount of depth to this game.
Yeah, again, it's just very base level stuff. Like there's nothing too complicated, which I guess that's Nintendo. But play like Smash Brothers, playing with like pros for Smash Brothers, or even watching it is just crazy to watch them. Or even I see it even more with like Mario Kart. Like I could see an esports thing for Mario Kart. I can't see it really with arms. So,
interesting. You guys are really the first people I've heard down on the game. It's so far the response on Twitter has been pretty positive.
I've seen a lot of negative stuff.
I'm not down on the game. I think it would be a great party game. Like if I were playing with a bunch of friends, I think this could be really, really fun. But on a just to play by myself, or get competitive with it. Like
that's where it loses me is playing by myself. Like I'm not the kind of person that just sits down and plays a multiplayer game by myself. I gotta be playing with people to do it really. And that's why I won't get it. It's just because I wouldn't play it enough, to justify the purchase. I think it's fun. I've had a good time with both and the music is so catchy. Oh, I love it.
I don't remember a single thing I heard while I was playing.
There's just that lady going like.
That's Persona.
I was gonna say that is definitely not how she goes.
Yeah, I mean, I commend Nintendo on the design of the characters and on the idea of the game, but I just don't think it's that well executed. And I have not seen anything like overly positive about it. Like in
really,
I've seen people saying like about what you're saying, like, oh yeah, this is a fun novel idea. Don't think I'm gonna buy it. Like,
no, I've heard a lot of people kind of turn around.
That's the consensus I've seen amongst my groups,
Twitter followers,
Twitter, Facebook, NeoGAF, stuff like that. Like it seems like most people are just like, oh yeah, cool. I played it for an hour today. Can't see myself playing for any longer period of time or anything like that. Like it's like I played the game for an hour. I think I've got arms out of my system for the rest of my life. Like I know what the game is. It's there. Again, I commend Nintendo on trying something different. Like that's fine. but it just was not for me, and I don't feel compelled to play the game again anytime soon.
If we're ever discounted at like, I would buy it for like $30. You know,
it's a Nintendo game though, Nintendo first party game, so that's never gonna happen.
Never happen. But like, if it were like $30, I would totally buy it. But for like a hot $60, dude, no way, dude, no way will I buy this game for $60.
Yeah,
but
that's Arms.
Yeah,
that's Arms. We'll never talk about it again. Hopefully,
we'll talk about it when they announce a new character and put it out for free DLC.
No, we won't.
Because that's news.
There's a lot of news we don't cover.
We talk about when new Overwatch characters are announced.
Yeah, because that's like one of the biggest games on the face of the planet. It's not Arms.
I still play Overwatch on occasion.
Yeah, right? Like Overwatch is a cultural movement. Arms is Arms.
In some ways a cultural movement, but not in the right ways.
Yeah. So, anything else we've been playing that we want to talk about? Michael, actually, I know what you've been playing. I kind of want to ask you about this before we jump into news.
I've been playing a lot of things. Like you, I have been playing Last of Us a little bit. So,
you have? I didn't know that.
I started it, and then I was like, you know what? I have to get this off my chest. I need to play Yakuza 0. And I've been playing that, and that game is so funny, dude.
How bad do I need to play that game?
It is really good. I really like it. It's probably, and I told you this, I'm pretty sure it's my game of the year so far. Like, that's where I'm at with it. More so than Zelda, because Zelda's like my number 2. It's like really close, but I'd say Yakuza 0 beats it. It's just, there's few games that like actually make me laugh out loud when I'm playing it. Like almost every cutscene I watch, I am laughing because it's just so like, it's kind of cringy, but it's like purposely being like that.
Yeah,
it's like a Japanese melodrama.
It's supposed to be totally over the top.
Like I sent you that picture of like what that dude said. I'm like, oh, why are they saying this in a video game, dude? It's so weird. So yeah, the guy's name was The Walking Erection. Like, it's so funny, dude. I'm super happy about that. I picked that up, and it's like an action RPG. I mean, Yakuza is a really old series, so people will know what it is.
Is that your first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, so that would be my first one as well, and I'm like totally interested in it. I've talked about it there's two big games that I've been waiting to pick. Or I guess 3 if you count Kingdom Hearts 2.8 collection. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I need to get that at some point, but the other 2 games that I really want to play at some point this year, and I will get around to them, is that and Nier Automata.
Yeah, I need to play that too.
I really want to play both of those, and I don't know, man. Yeah, I've been waiting for the price to drop on Yakuza. It surprisingly hasn't yet. I figured
it's weird.
It's still $60, and it's been out since January, so I've expected the price on that to fall, but it hasn't. I need to get around and play it at some point though, because it looks just, I don't know if I'll ever beat it, because I know those games are also super crazy long, but I just want to experience it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing that's kind of bothering me on it, is that I've been getting used to just playing like 10-hour games, and it's definitely it can be a 60-hour game, and I don't know if I want to spend 60 hours playing it, because I just want to play different things.
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. It is super good. So I would recommend it to anybody. It's a Japanese game, so it's weird in that sense. I don't know.
That quirkiness to it.
Yeah, it's got that weird quirkiness to it. So I mean, really good. So yeah, I don't know. I've been playing that a lot, and then I just bought Puyo Puyo Tetris yesterday, and I've been playing that all morning today. And I really enjoyed that too. I played a few versus matches against friends. Again, this is like going back to like Nintendo being really good at finding good party games. And I think this one is probably the best one you could probably get, other than like Mario Kart 8.
On the Switch right now, yeah.
On the Switch right now, yeah. Like there's Mario Kart 8 is just goddamn the best Nintendo game in my opinion. But like
it is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I want to get it, like I do, I really do, but
it's just so good. And then but yeah, Puyo Puyo Tetris is super fun. All of my friends just play Tetris though. None of us play Puyo Puyo. One of my friends does, because he used to play Dr.
Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Mean Bean Machine. Yeah,
I
he used to
grew
play
up
that
on that game, dude.
Yeah. So he just plays Puyo Puyo, but everybody else plays Tetris. And I don't know. It's super fun. My one friend and I used to play a game on N64 called Tetris Worlds, I think, and they used to have a versus thing, and it was just a marathon though, and you all had the same pieces. The thing that I don't like about the versus in this is that not everybody gets the same pieces.
Yeah, that's kind of
which is super lame.
When I played the demo, it was strange because you can obviously play both sides. Either Tetris or Puyo Puyo, but then you don't, even if you are playing the same thing, you aren't getting the same pieces, which I can understand to a degree, but like that leads to a lot of balancing issues. And it's like, what if this person had a better setup than me or something like that? And I'm sure they've tried to tweak that stuff in the back end to make sure that that's not the case. And if you're putting your pieces in the places where they need to go, then you can capitalize on it. But yeah, that's kind of how I felt playing the demo. I think it's really cool, but I would be concerned to play multiplayer with it.
That's the thing, is like, that was something that my friend pointed out. I'm like, oh, you're totally right. And like on a competitive level, then when you're playing against somebody, I don't think it has really any merit, because you can't say like, oh, you had a better setup possibly. You know, there are those problems there.
My response would be just to get good.
That's also true. Just try to figure out better placements, I guess. But otherwise, I mean, you can't see what tiles you have, and therefore you can forecast what you're supposed to do. But I
forgot with Puyo Puyo, there you have to do more so than Tetris. Dude, you have to do so much setup.
Yeah, it's crazy. Puyo Puyo is crazy.
Falls the right way, because that was my thing back when I used to play Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, was that like, I'd get a lot of matches, but you're just dropping like one or two little pebbles on the guys you're facing at the same time. You have to get these like insane combinations, which is so hard to set up.
What I do like about that though is, and what I don't like about it though, because if you get somebody who's good at, I played a little bit online, and if you get somebody who's good at Puyo Puyo, they kill you, because what they've made it is that if you get those chains, they get those like blocks that like extend. For Puyo Puyo, if you do like, if somebody gets a really good chain, it's like halfway up the board for like
and it blocks off everything below it.
All right, this is ridiculous. So then you have to like,
now you've got this lower level stuff which you can't access. You've got this mid level of just rocks. And then you have to start over.
Yeah, so I mean, if you get somebody who's good with Puyo Puyo, they'll destroy you. But a lot of people that I have faced who do play that like haven't been that great. So I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, because I play Tetris. Because
Tetris is the best.
Tetris is the best, but I don't know.
Have you ever played Puyo Puyo or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
Yeah, I used to play. Oh,
I was wondering if Max has. Yeah. Do you have any idea what that style of Tetris is?
I mean, I played the demo, so that's my only exposure to Puyo Puyo. I've played. It reminds me a little bit of Dr. Mario.
Kind of
the same way, where you have two things. I know they're different, but like it's a similar mechanic of where you have two things attached and have to match the colors and build the stacks so they drop and chain and stuff. So that's like the closest analogy or game that I've played to that.
Yeah. What I do like though is that the game does have normal Puyo Puyo and normal Tetris, so you can't just play Tetris by yourself if you want to, which I didn't know was a feature in it, because I was going to be kind of upset if I couldn't do that. But yeah, it's great. It's a really good game. I mean, it's $30, but there is a lot of content there, so I think it's worth $30.
Switch, I assume.
Yeah,
on PS4.
Yeah,
on Switch. Yeah, I want to bring it to San Francisco with me. So
I gotcha. Yeah, that'll be a good.
I forgot it was on PS4.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper on PS4 too. That's why I was curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's like $20 on.
I think that's only the physical version, right?
I mean, it's cheaper regardless, and with it, I know it's cheaper in some way on PS4.
I thought it was just the physical. I don't know.
I wanted to ask you about, or I guess talk about Last of Us really quickly. I mean, there's still two things I need to talk about because I played Rime this past week too, and I want to talk about that for a hot second. Last of Us though, survivor mode, really a survival game. Like I'm playing that game. There is nothing in that game like anymore. Like I have no ammo, I have no wooden planks to beat people over the head with. There is nothing in that game anymore, and it's I'm more often than not running around with like the tiniest sliver of health, refusing to use any sort of health pack. I mean that game, I see. The thing is, I don't think it's hard because I'm not dying like a lot. It's just you have to play it so much differently.
It's
be
stressful.
10 times more conservative than even the main game, which I was very conservative. I felt like in the main game as well, or like normal mode, not the main game. It's the same game. So like even when playing on normal, I felt like I was being very conservative. So now playing it for the first time in 4 years and doing it on Survivor, it's like, oh dang, this is way different. That's been fun to go back to. I just got to Pittsburgh, so I'll probably keep playing. I'll probably have that knocked out within the next couple days, honestly.
Yeah.
If you're in Pittsburgh now, you'll have it beat by Tuesday.
Probably, because tomorrow's a holiday as well. So
yeah.
I mean, you could beat it tomorrow if you played only that all day. But
I won't.
Pittsburgh's a long chunk, and so is winter can be a little bit long.
Yeah, I forget. So is there fall in that game? I can't remember. Or is that the college campus? Is that part?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's that. And then winter.
That leads into winter.
And then spring is obviously drafts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now I remember how that game works.
Great
game. That's been fun to go back to. I cried harder in the opening than I ever. Okay, so it's not like bawling my eyes out, but my eyes got way more watery and tears were running down my face more in that opening than any other time. And I've played that opening. So I've never played the game to completion except for the one time, but I've played that opening probably 5 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, why only the opening?
Well, I've restarted it 2 or 3 times. I've played it together with some of my friends to show them how the game starts, things like that.
Okay.
So I've played that opening quite a bit, but it hit me yesterday for some reason, like more than normal. As far as like story goes, and so let's bringing it back to the great Uncharted versus Last of Us debate. The first 15 minutes of The Last of Us hits me harder than anything else in Uncharted 4 in its entirety. And that's always been like my sticking point when comparing those games. Uncharted's phenomenal. I think Uncharted's better from a gameplay perspective. But if you're going to talk about like understanding and like feeling compassion on the characters or relating with them, I don't relate to Nathan Drake in any way whatsoever. I love the guy. But like even the ending to 4, it was like, all right, cool. I'm happy for you. That's about the best I can say though.
Yeah.
Because I just don't relate with that guy.
I totally agree. I mean, it's like comparing a drama to an action movie. You're going to feel more passionate about the drama than you are about the action movie, you know? Like they're 2 different things, I feel.
Which you can relate with action movie heroes. Like, I think the ending to the original Rambo is like one of the most powerful endings ever. But
yes.
So
yeah,
you can do it true. Right. But I don't know.
I mean, he's Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake. Like, it's an Indiana Jones movie, the video game. Like, it's like, that's what it is. And those movies have like a quirkiness to them that I feel just doesn't feel like reality, you know? Whereas like...
You mean the murdering of thousands of people? That part?
Maybe that part, yeah.
Maybe it is not feeling any remorse for anyone he murders?
Just latching on a stupid grappling hook to everything in the environment for 14 hours without ever missing.
Yeah, maybe it's that too. Maybe it's... I believe there's nobody that suave ever. So
that half tuck though.
Yeah, dude. Nobody half tucks and gets away with it. Let me tell you.
Nathan Drake does.
The fashion police would be after him for Zongo. I brought wrestling into it.
Yeah, those promos they have been cutting.
They're so good.
Those are like the best.
Save this Model Citizen show. Put it there. Put your wrestling talk there, boys.
All right.
But yeah, you can have a rebuttal, I guess, Max, if you want to stand up for Uncharted or something.
I'm just gonna be ganged up on. I mean, obviously The Last of Us is a masterpiece, but I think so is Uncharted, and I just prefer Uncharted.
I think they both can be masterpieces, but I wouldn't say that I feel like, I don't know. Like,
again, gameplay I'll put in Uncharted's corner. Even like fun, I will put in Uncharted's corner. But if you want to talk about stories and stuff like that, like, you're out of your mind if you think Uncharted 4 is, or any of them, I guess. Even you can put I would put Uncharted 1 through 4 in one pile and The Last of Us on its own, and I would say The Last of Us on its own is more impactful than Uncharted was in 4 games. So
I would totally agree with that.
I would disagree, but that's
again.
What do you find? I mean, serious question. Like, what do you find relatable with Drake and stuff like that? Then
I find his relationship with Elena and Sully, and then they bring his brother in the end. But his struggle with being a hero and pursuing what he wants and thinks he wants versus what he's supposed to do and being a family man. Like it's kind of in a weird way, like La La Land. I remember you tweeted this out one time. You were like, that end sequence, the dream sequence in La La Land, Sebastian's the only one that loses, and I disagree with that. I think Sebastian wins, is the winner in the dream sequence because he gets what he was truly meant to have and wanted, which was her. And I think Drake goes through that as well. And finally in 4, he realizes it, and then it's the epilogue that really cements it, as in he's done. He realized what he was supposed to do, and he got both the treasure hunting and the girl and not killing thousands of people. So I think his journey through those 4 games, and it's not necessarily fair because he has 4 games of character to build on, and The Last of Us accomplishes so much in 1 game, and it's so powerful and great, and I cannot wait for 2. But I think 4 is this really beautiful way to wrap the game up. I think that whole section with Elena at the end, beautiful.
So to bring it back to a couple things, to rebut to your rebuttal.
Oh my gosh, it's like Phoenix, right?
No, we won't have to do this too much longer. So with La La Land, the only reason I said Sebastian lost everything was because he was the only one who had to sacrifice anything. Because in that epilogue sequence, Mia gets both her career and Sebastian in the end, so she gets both. Sebastian was the only one who I said had to give anything up in that scenario, and that was the only thing I said I didn't like, or not that I even didn't like, but that was the only thing that stood out to me, where was he had to choose one or the other, to where she got both. And so she got her dream job, her dream career, and then she also got the guy that she liked, whereas Sebastian didn't. So that's La La Land. That was my comment on that part, at least.
Okay.
Again, though, as far as Uncharted goes and just the relatability of it, like, I can't sympathize.
How do you relate to Joel, though? You're not a rugged man that had a daughter die in his arms.
We've all lost someone, though. Like, we've all experienced, like, death is a part of life more than raiding tombs is, or something like that. So, like, I can't sympathize with a guy who is like, I am compelled to always go on crazy adventures with this old dude and my brother or whoever else is along for the ride. Like, I get it, but I can't relate with it on almost any level.
And those things, weren't really brought in, like the whole family thing. Like, wasn't really brought in until the 4th one. You didn't really get that through 1 through 3. You know,
I think Sam was a good character, but
Sam
him being written in so forcefully is like, that's always stuck out to me with that game.
I don't think it was that forcefully, but no, the family stuff
is my long lost brother that I love so much, who I've never bothered to mention in the other 3 games.
Yeah,
it's kind of. Also, let me talk about this grappling hook skill I've never used in any of the other games. I think the brother thing makes sense, particularly with Drake's character not talking about it. Drake's never been the kind of guy to open up. And then having his brother die in front of him and thinking he's dead makes pretty much sense why he would not want to talk about it.
But I'm also talking about it.
But yeah, I mean, they're both great games. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, they're both masterpieces.
When it comes down to the story elements, it's like, I don't think there's any sort of competition in any way. And plus, I mean, so not even the first, I need to stop ranting about this, but not even first 15 minutes of Last of Us, but the end of it, like, showing that, like, he's willing to go to the fullest extent to save something that he loves. That's more relatable to me than anything else. Like, so I don't know. They're more like common things that I think you can see through everyday life, and less of,
I think you can relate.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you what is your rating Tombs then that you've had to give up, Max?
It's not you're clinging on to the game mechanic rating Tombs. He's an adrenaline junkie. He thinks he's unstoppable. I'm just asking you, like, where do you, and I'm not asking these questions like in a snarky way either. Like,
is there a direct like comparison that you see for yourself with that?
Me? Do I?
Yeah, like something you've like felt like you need to give up, whether it be for, I don't know, your relationship with Abby or just any other aspect of your life. Like, oh, I need to stop doing X so that Y can improve.
Without getting like entirely into nitty gritty things, there's plenty of things you have to like give up or pull back on or change in a relationship, especially when you're about to get married. Lots of lessons there. There's all sorts of like career stuff and things like that. You got to pull back a little bit to make other things happen. Like travel, like you always ask me to go on trips with you and stuff. And it's like things I just can't do because I have to do other things. But that's not really related to Uncharted in that way.
We can stop if you want, because I still have to talk about Rhyme and then we'll do the news.
Oh my goodness.
We'll get through the news quick. Rhyme's worth talking about though, dude. Like Rhyme is, you guys need to play Rhyme. And I know
you're the only person I've heard say this too.
I mean,
I've read a couple of reviews.
It's over an 80 on Metacritic.
Mm-hmm. I know. So, I looked.
You totally need to play the game. It is in the same. So the comment. So I reviewed it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think the way the story is told is really unique, where they don't give you a whole lot until the ending, but that ending is really well put together. And I think if you were to then play the game over again with a fresh set of eyes, it's one of those things that would like change a lot of factors of the game. So I think the story is really just incredibly well done, and it's my favorite aspect of the game by a mile. So it's in the same vein as Ico. It's very much a puzzle / adventure game. A lot of exploring around the island. The island's beautiful. It's cool to find everything. Collectibles and stuff like that are littered around as well. It's touching in very, I don't know, man. That ending's pretty impactful. Like that ending. So,
are you saying that you relate to a boy trapped on a mysterious island?
Yeah, kind of.
In some ways, we are all little boys trapped on a mysterious island.
I mean, once you figure out like what the point of the game is, because there is like an overarching point.
I'm sure.
Then it's like, wow,
I'm actually a woman. This is about identity.
No, it's not that, but
no, it sounds like the way you're saying how like the end really reveals it and puts a fresh set of eyes on if you were to play it again. Kind of reminds me of The Sixth Sense, where the first time I saw that movie, I was like, whoa, now it changes the whole movie if you watch it again. In that way, and maybe not in the shock.
Yeah, not as much of a
Shyamalan twist way, but it
more of just like an understanding thing. Like, oh, okay, I understand why I've been on this path now and like what this is all about. There's not a word said in the game, which is also really impactful because it's like really an emotional ending. It's like they didn't even say anything. So the entire way that the game conveys this story is through just
environmental storytelling.
Yeah, or the environment one, and then just to what they're showing you and what they're depicting on the screen. The puzzles are good. I didn't feel like they were bad by any means, and I never got stuck with them, so that was good because I kind of suck at puzzle games sometimes. It's similar to Ico in how it plays, or Eco in how it plays, I guess, for the most part. I think so. The thing I'll say in rebuttal, because you said, some other reviews are bad, and there are some. I don't think anybody said the game was bad. Like the lowest score I saw was like a 6 or something like that.
No, I not bad. I've heard one piece on Kotaku said that it mimics. Like you said, Eco and Journey and stuff like that.
So that's what I want to respond to. And
but it doesn't earn it, is what they said.
That's the common...
Just copies to copy.
And that's what frustrates me, is that's the common thread I've seen through all of these games. Or all of the reviews that are painting the game. And more of a negative light or saying, it doesn't say... Or it's not as impactful, or it's not really saying anything, is because their point of reference for all of those is directly comparing it to Journey, Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Abzu. Like there's a litany of those more artful games
you compared it to, though.
Those are the games, like as far as gameplay goes, I think it's similar to Ico, like story wise and stuff like that. Like I think this is a game where you really have to judge it based on the merit of its story and stuff like that. And every time I saw people putting the game down, it was more like it was a compare and contrast rather than reviewing the game for reviewing the game. Like every time, like some people's like even conclusion paragraphs are like, Rime's a beautiful game, blah blah blah, but it doesn't hit the same highs as Journey and Ico and like all those other games that I brought up earlier. Like, okay, cool, but can you give me just a base look at this game? Like, how is this game on its own? Like, quit bringing up other games. And that's what kind of I didn't get with other people's reviews. Like, tell me just how the game is for being Rime. Like, how is Rime as Rime, not how is Rime when you compare it to Journey, which some people think is like one of the greatest games of last generation or the last decade easily. Like, you're comparing it to some of the most like critically received games ever. So of course, when you're going to compare it directly to that, is it going to falter? Yeah, a little bit. I don't think it's bad by any means. I mean, I give it a 9. Rime on its own is a very well developed game by Tequila Works. The story is really well done. And it's about 6 to 8 hours. Like, you can get through it pretty within a reasonable amount of time. And it's a game, I said in my review, it's a game about moments, like not even just the ending, but there's like some really standout sections of both gameplay and interactions between the boy and other things within that world, not characters necessarily, but there's just an allure of mystery around what's happening too. And it's like, really, you want to get to the end to find out what happened. Like, I'd be really shocked if you picked up the game in an hour or two and decided like you would want to put it down or something like that. Like, it is something that holds your attention and you want to see through. Like, you're excited to see where it is going. But yeah, I mean, that as far as like the somewhat negative reviews, that was the common thread I saw that I just really, I didn't get that. Like, I wasn't a fan of just constantly comparing it to the other games because, yeah, like those games, like people put those games on a pedestal. So of course there's a good chance that it's going to falter when you compare it directly to some of the most critically well-received games ever. But it's out now on PS4, PC, and Xbox One. And it's coming to Switch later this summer, they've said. So we'll see what happens there. It's really solid though. Like, I think you should pick it up. You can find my review on DualShockers if you want to read that. But it's good. Like, I think both of you should play it. Like, I was trying to egg you on to play it, Max, because I
yeah, you were like, it's only $20 on Amazon right now. And I looked at my bank account and wept.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. That's a game I'd like to hear your take on, but that's why
it's good that it turned out, because wasn't there some trouble with the studio?
So
I was actually really worried about this game, and then hearing very positive reviews coming out, I was glad that it shook out pretty well, because
Sony's been doing weird stuff past few years with the games they're publishing as well. So this is the second time this year that a game that Sony was originally developing, eventually somewhere along the development of the game, they decided to not publish it. And so the second one was What Remains of Edith Finch. They were originally publishing that as well. And then I don't know if Giant Sparrow did it themselves. I cannot remember with that one, who published that one. But they had, I mean, What Remains of Edith Finch was still console exclusive to PS4. It's also on PC as well. But Rime, yeah, it was originally a PS4 exclusive. It was revealed in 2013. And so it didn't, we've known about this game for 4 years at this point. Midway through development, I think Sony came in and like took their dev kits away and said they weren't publishing the game anymore. 6 Foot and I think Graybox and 6 Foot are the new like co-publishers of the game, and it turned out really well. Like, it is. I would not say it is a bad game by any means. The only problem I really had with it was the frame rate started a little bit like during these like larger, more expansive moments where they try to blow up the world and show you more than they should. It stuttered for me a little bit, but yeah, like it turned out well, like because I was interested going into it as well, like just because of like that was what the game was known for, was like that troubled development cycle. So yeah,
that's good. Awesome. That's great.
So yeah, check that out if you've got time. Good game. Another good game in a ridiculous year.
2017's nuts, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I even said, last thing I'll say about this game too, because I forgot to play, the soundtrack in that game, holy crap. Like maybe the best this year. And I know we've had Zelda and Persona. So that's saying a lot. Like that might be the best soundtrack that has come out this year. It's very reminiscent to me of, I want to say Journey, not in the sense that like, not in the sense, I mean it in the way of like that they orchestrate the strings and stuff like that, and the sound and the feel to it, and like how it coincides directly with the gameplay. It reminds me of Journey in that way. I think it is on par soundtrack for soundtrack with Journeys. Like I think it's really, really well done. And I forget what the guy's name is who did it. I forget his first name. His last name is Garcia. So he did a really fantastic job on that soundtrack, and you should check that out because I think it's on Spotify now, or either that or Amazon. So you should look that up as well. Anyway, very long intro this week. Let's get into the news because there's
let's take a break and then go into the news.
No, let's not take a break. Let's just go because we gotta go.
Because I got music.
You were gonna go.
I have music.
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna put it here anyway.
No, please don't.
It's happening.
We're taking another break. We're fine.
What other break are we taking?
News.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're moving on with the show like we normally do. We never take a break before news. We don't need to force a break into the show.
But what other break are you going to take? There is no other break.
We don't need a break this week. It's okay.
Oh, no,
we'll take a break and then we'll outro. How about that?
We'll take a break and then we'll stop. Anyway, news this week. Let's get into it. So, again, heading towards E3 next week. Again, predictions episode 96 is going to be our predictions episode. We can run over that at the end of the show and remind you how we're going to do that. But news this week, we've got a couple things. Let's start with let's get the big one out of the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 delayed to spring 2018.
Surprise to no one.
Yeah,
I mean, man, who didn't call that one?
A Rockstar game delayed? Say it ain't so.
That's like a Zelda game being delayed. So
yeah, fair.
Pretty on the nose. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people felt like this would come. Not because we felt like the game was in trouble or anything, but like you said, Max, like Rockstar game. Like there's just that stigma around it in the same way that there is a Zelda game or something else like that, or a Cuphead. Not that has a long track history. I just felt like reminding everybody that Cuphead's been delayed for 6 years or whatever.
Cuphead's never coming.
Yeah, Red Dead was delayed. They released a few new screenshots as well with it, which are holy crud, gorgeous. Like the screenshots sold me more on the game than the trailer did itself. Like the 6 or 7 screenshots they released were better looking than anything I saw in the trailer, and I actually became more excited after those screenshots.
The trailer was meh. Like I didn't really think the trailer was that great. Even
it was a teaser. It was just like, hey, we're making this game.
Like, let's show some scenery here. All right, we're good.
Yeah, that's a go-to Rockstar move, though. They did the same thing with GTA 5.
Yeah,
the screenshots are very, very nice. Those are most likely taken on a PC. It's not going to look like that on a standard PS4. Those were very high quality screenshots, though. They were nice. They were pretty.
I mean, we do have Scorpio and PS4 Pro now. So
I know. That's why I said a regular PS4. I didn't say Pro. Scorpio, it'll look nice on Scorpio. A true 4K box.
But yeah, so this isn't really. There's not much analysis with this, I guess, at this point because it's just a delay that we all kind of expected. It will make Game of the Year at the end of the year a little bit better, a little bit nicer, maybe a little bit more clean, even though this year is getting still out of control. But yeah, early next year. I think there was even more news on potentially where it could come. I think it. I can't remember. I don't want to say one way or the other. I felt like they said something was happening after their fiscal year, so like this would become around April or something like that potentially. But I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. I'm not. Maybe I dreamed that up. But yeah, next year for Red Dead, I think it's easily one of my most anticipated games. I'm assuming you guys are just as excited for it as well.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite games of all time. So,
Red Dead, the only Rockstar games I've played are GTA 5 and Max Payne 3. So, in their official blog post, they didn't say anything about their fiscal year.
Yeah, but there was a Take-Two did a earnings report the next day or something like that.
That's possible. Yeah, so I'm curious to see gameplay.
It's gonna be a Rockstar game. And
actually, I think it's gonna be a lot like GTA Online or something. Like I think you're gonna be riding around in a posse with your friends and you're gonna be robbing trains. I think it's gonna be a pretty I think there's going to be a lot more multiplayer than normal.
I think that's not going to happen.
I really like the multiplayer in Red Dead 1. I thought
the Red Dead
multiplayer was awesome.
Yeah, it was very good. I actually put a good amount of time into that. I think there will be a multiplayer component in the multiplayer side of things, like Red Dead Online or something like that. I don't think they're going to feed that directly into the single player, though. And that's been a common prediction that people have had just because GTA Online made so much money for them that they maybe...
I'm just saying that based off the box art. Look how well games like Destiny and GTA Online did.
Yeah, but
I think it's a game you're going to be able to play by yourself, but if you want to, you can play with your friends.
That's just not how Rockstar works to me. And if they do that, I don't even know if I'd be like real into that. Like it's not.
They make so much money off GTA Online.
But that doesn't mean they have to. Again, there's.
I think they would incorporate it in there, though.
Why would they incorporate that into the single player story stuff, though?
Because it's optional and makes them tons of money.
But you can have free money.
I think you could play it entirely by yourself. I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you could play with your friends.
Play Destiny by yourself. That's not fun in any way, shape, or form, though.
It's kind of fun.
I mean, I think that's how it's gonna shake down. I do.
I really just don't want people in it. You know.
I don't think you're gonna see like Logan walking around the town.
I feel like that's what you're saying, though.
No, like if I want to play the game cooperatively online with friends, I could open it up and open a lobby and play with them. But if I want to play it by myself, I can't.
I feel like they're going to have separate missions for that stuff. I don't feel like it would bleed into the single player content. Like I think they're going to keep that wall up between the two. Like the open world will be accessible in the same way with GTA Online. You can run around the same world. There's just other people there, but there is a different mission structure and there is a different hierarchy to things. I expect the same will be with Red Dead. I think the single player stuff.
I think
how the story works will be its own thing. So
I think they fuse it.
They better not. That sounds like
that sounds awful. Like that would immediately plummet really out of my most anticipated games. Like I would straight up hate that.
You would hate the option to play with your friends?
Yeah, like those games are solo open world experiences to me.
Yeah.
Or you could say you could do it by yourself. The fact that they would even be pushing it as a co-op thing to me means like it's the whole better with friends. Like that's how it is with Destiny or something like that. Like sure, you can play through it by yourself. You can play through Borderlands by yourself. Borderlands by yourself is very bad.
It's horrible.
Like so if they're tailoring the experience to be played with others and then you play it by yourself, then it's probably not going to be a great experience if I had to guess. So keep the single player tied to stuff. It's in its own entity. And the other reason I say that too is because it's a direct sequel to Red Dead Redemption. Not necessarily narratively.
I was gonna say I don't think it could be.
I was gonna say not narratively, but
it kind of ends on
the first time they've done like everybody was like, oh, it's gonna be Red Dead something revenge. I don't know. There was all the different subtitle names going around that
Red Dead Revengeance.
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff going around that people were talking about, and then it just ended up being Red Dead 2. And so it's going to be tied into the first one somehow, I think, whether it's a prequel with John Marston's posse and those guys. So, and if that is the case, if there are commonalities between the two, or if there are the stories of the games are tied together, please let me just play it alone. And
I hope its own stories aren't tied together.
You should have played Red Dead last gen, though. Like that's one of the best games last generation, easily. So,
I know how the story plays out in Red Dead. I know exactly how it plays, and I hope they're not tied together. It's like John's story. That'll be like if The Last of Us Part 2 was about Joel. It's not. It's about someone else.
And had the best DLC, Undead Nightmare.
Yeah, Undead Nightmare was awesome.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was real good. Whatever came out.
I have it on my Xbox, and I played the beginning on PS3. Like I've played a little bit, but I got kind of tired of herding cattle.
Don't hurt cattle then. Shout out to Luis in the comments. Hi Luis, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Let's jump to our next news story, which is another game that we thought was coming out this year, but isn't. Far Cry 5. So we got the first trailer for that this past week. Previews went up for that as well. We got a bunch of different character trailers. It is coming out in February of 2018. So we got two good games lined up for early 2018 now. The setting is Montana, so that lines up with what we had been led to believe. It centers around a religious cult which is going to be really freaking cool. The reveal trailer shows off more of the story, or at least talks about it a little bit. They're trying to hold some stuff back because E3 is in 2 weeks or whatever at this point. So what did you guys think Far Cry 5 from what we've seen so far? Because honestly, like, this is one of my most anticipated games now. I love the religious cult angle. Like, it screams BioShock Infinite to me, except combined with the Far Cry formula, which I'm totally into. And I like the setting of the United States. Like, and I know there's 1,000 games set in the United States, but this one's different because name a game and it's taking place in Montana in present day.
The Crew.
The Crew? Can you drive to Montana in that game?
I believe you can.
Then The Crew. So we've got the Crew.
Another Ubisoft game. Ubisoft pioneers in Montana game development.
Yeah.
Looks like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4, which isn't bad. It just looks like more Far Cry.
I don't really think it does. Like, there's a lot of new.
It looks like Far Cry with Brotherhood mechanics where you can rally people up.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I thought that Far Cry 4 looked like more Far Cry 3 for sure. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you on that. Like, almost like the same color palette. Like, it all felt very much the same on like a tropical island. All of that. Where this, it's colorful, but it's definitely nowhere near as colorful. It's just that the greens look really nice and everything. It looks like Montana, which is cool. The whole religious thing is super weird, I think, like different. And that's different from most games. I don't think there's really that many. I mean, other than like what, I guess Resident Evil 4 is that, but
yeah,
other
there's
than that
BioShock, trying to think of other games that deal with the religious angle.
Yeah.
There's parts of it.
Not a lot though.
But there's not a lot where it like centers around a cult or something like that.
Yeah. So. Like, I think that's really different. I think just the fact that it's not on some island, because every Far Cry is on an island, I'm pretty sure, is it not?
Yeah.
2 was in Africa, wasn't it?
2's in Africa, so not really.
Just technically an island.
1 is, and then there's like a spinoff of 1 where maybe they're a remake or something along the same lines. It's also on an island. 3's on an island. 4 is not on an island, but
it's in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So I mean, they do stick with the island thing, sort of, but. Yeah,
it's
about 50.
I mean, it looks like more Far Cry just with the ability to recruit people, which is not a bad thing. Far Cry is a fun game. I love it.
I mean, there's a bunch of other new things too, though. Like the biplanes look sick. Just the setting looks totally different. Like I'm with Michael. I think 4 looked very similar to 3, but watching these reveal trailers and the screenshots and stuff like that. Like, I'm not like, if I was to see that and not know what game it was, I would not get Far Cry vibes from that. Whereas I think 3 and 4, if I saw screenshots of those, if I'd seen screenshots of 4 before it released, and just coming off of 3, I would probably know that it's Far Cry. Like, this looks very different.
Yeah. Not
only in the palette and stuff like that, but just like one, I think it was in the reveal trailer. There's like a baseball, little league baseball diamonds and things like that you'll be running around. It looks much more urban and like things we're used to seeing because we live in the United States. I don't know what it's like to live on a tropical island or in the Himalayas. Maybe they nailed that as well. But
I lived on an island. They nailed it in 3.
Okay, so there's that.
You live on a peninsula. All right, it's not an island.
No, Michael. I lived on an island.
No, I'm kidding. I know.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know that, but I was just being an asshole.
Living in the Midwest, I think specifically. Obviously, this is in the West. This is the Northwest in Montana, but it has those same sort of vibes to me, where it's very country.
Ubisoft is very good at recreating environments. Look at Watch Dogs 2. It's a cool setting, but like as far as the game goes, here's a bad group of people doing bad things, go kill them. Like, it's structurally it's the same, just a different place. You're shooting things, and that's fine.
We haven't heard much about the structure though, have we?
Like you get to recruit people. That is the only new thing I've heard.
Again, they haven't talked much about it though. I mean, even if you want to even talk more about the structure, so the protagonist you play, you can either be male or female, or you can choose any race you want to be. Like the character is up to you this time, which is also a new thing for Far Cry that they haven't done before. They haven't talked a lot about the structure of the game, so I don't think it's safe to necessarily say that it's the same as 3 and 4 because. So at Dual Shockers, like we previewed the game, like we talked to them about it, and a bunch of the questions we asked the creative director on the game, he was like, "Nah, you'll know more about that later." Like they're being very quiet about many elements of the game, and it's
because they're going to show off gameplay at E3.
Well, yeah, they're going to detail a lot of stuff at E3, but so I mean that's what I would say right now. Like I don't think we know. Can we assume that the formula will be Far Cry-ish? Yeah,
yep.
But I don't think it's going to be copy paste from 3 and 4. Like Primal the map was literally copy paste from 4. So this looks completely new in a lot of ways. No, the map was the same.
No, I know. It was a spinoff as well. Like that's how they were able to do that.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a lot of different stuff with 5.
We'll see. I'm not as excited as you are. Like I'll wait until I see it and be like, all right, more Far Cry, I'm down.
I also feel like the antagonist isn't as funny. You know, like Ford had a weird vibe to him that was kind of.
I did not play 4. Yeah, I didn't play 4.
And even
intimidating. I don't think Voss was funny. He reminded me of the Joker. Like he just seemed crazy to be crazy.
Yeah, but it was like unreal in a way, and I think this one feels a bit more grounded.
Yeah, that's what I like about it though, personally, because
you're telling me a religious cult leader taking over a county in the United States and murdering people is more grounded than a crazy drug lord on an island?
I'm talking about his character attributes, not freaking
just like how
in and of itself. Like I am assuming this will be a game where I can throw a stake onto a dude's chest and a barrel will attack him. Like it's none of it's realistic. As far as the characters go, though, like I'm more used to seeing extremists of this type than I am someone like Voss, who, like you said, felt like the Joker or something like that. I also
it's crazy to be crazy.
I also didn't care for Pagan Min. A lot of people liked him in 4. I thought he was
okay.
His writing was kind of strange, and like the decisions you could make with him were like I didn't like the end of the game where you had to choose between either shooting him or letting him go away. Like that was the thing I didn't like about 3 and 4 is that you eventually like had to choose a side. I'd like it if 5 was very much more black and white to the point where it's like, yo, these people suck. I never even consider joining them.
I think there will be a choice though.
I hate that. And that goes back to our conversation last week about multiple endings and stuff like that. But just like, if these people are evil and they suck and you're not going to try to justify why they are like this, then let's just stick with that, because I don't want to see anything. I don't know. I hate the choice stuff because it's like, I feel like I always make the wrong one. And it's
Does Far Cry have a history of like trying to humanize the villain? I don't know
if they've tried to humanize them as much as it is like, hey, here's why I did this. The other side is just as bad as me. So choose. It's like, well, shoot, you both suck, but I can only kill one of you or something like that. Like that's kind of how 4 was. Like I forget the exact story beats to 4, but eventually you found out
I didn't even play 4.
Pagan Min was like, I don't know. At the end of the game, it's like you can kill him if you want to, or you can let him go because you realize that everybody else in this territory sucks too. So I don't know.
We'll see. I'm one of the people I try to wait for gameplay before I get too eager about a game. There are some I make an exception for,
like Last of Us 2?
Part 2. Yep.
The game will.
There's always an exception. Everyone has an exception for things.
I mean, everything I think they're doing so far with Far Cry 5 though looks like what I wanted. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good game.
So yeah, it'll be good. Looking forward to it. Let's continue on. So rapid fire here. Let's do the TV type stuff. So Castlevania got a trailer for Netflix. Looks cool. Looks cool. I will watch it. It's out July 7th. We've talked about it the past few months when they revealed it.
It looks like it's Castlevania 3, apparently, according to the internet.
Yeah, Curse of Dracula. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. That sounds like it'll be an interesting show.
Yeah, looks cool. Trailer's up. You can go watch the teaser. July 7th. There's also part 1, part 2. I think the season 1 is, well, if I'm correct, I think part 2 is out next year, as well as they've said season 2. I don't really know what's up with the development of it, but this first group
Netflix's animation stuff is cranking stuff out pretty quick. But I liked the intro to the teaser where they had an NES and stuff and popped the cartridge in.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
It was cool. I like that they know where it comes from as far as
I have a weird question. Wasn't there a article, I don't remember what news outlet, but wasn't there an article that showed them using that cartridge in an actual thing? Because I remember seeing something where there was a cartridge and it showed like all those like Orange Is the New Black and all that stuff. I thought I did. I don't remember.
I do not know. I could Google it.
Maybe
I'm not sure on that one.
Maybe that was a dream or something, but I felt like I've seen that before. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Animes. Let's watch those anime. Let's jump over to our other piece of not video game, but kind of video game news. Max put this one in the docket. Tom Holland's been cast as Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movie. This is dumb because the movie does not even have a script. No one is
Stop
attached
making
to this.
video game movies.
Just stop. This is really, really dumb. Like I don't understand why this is even a talking point. They just trashed the last script to this movie. This movie's been in development for almost a decade. You've now casted someone. Stop making woo noises. It comes that comes through horribly on the MP3 version.
Did you talk about how Resident Evil is also being rebooted?
Yeah, that was awesome.
6-film reboot.
The Uncharted thing is that movie will never come out. I appreciate at least that they're thinking of, hey, a prequel is a better idea than trying to cast someone that looks exactly like Nathan Drake. So good on you, Sony, for the direction idea. It still will never come out.
Yeah.
So if it did, I'd be fine with a prequel because that doesn't mess with the games in any way. I think the Uncharted 3,
games. All right, video game movies and video games are never tied together, though. So you draw those lines. In fact, I would prefer that they just make an Uncharted movie and try to rip off the movies and screw that up, rather than say, "Hey, here's the backstory to the video games. Here's a prequel, and this fits right directly into all that other stuff." Because I think don't have any creative input on this. Like
they don't, but I think it's okay that it doesn't mess with the canon. Like it doesn't.
But it does.
If you just said you like that it's a prequel. If that's the route they're going to go, then you would assume that.
But it's not going to mess
tied into that stuff.
It's not going to mess with. It's not like they're going to go, here's Uncharted 2 story told, but there's no train sequence and no combat train sequence. They're not going to fight on a train at all. And the blue sap, not there anymore. And the blue people, they're not there. Like I'd rather them just create their own story. And
I would do that, especially not in this way where then that's totally crapping on the backstories that I'm sure Bruce Straley, Neil Druckmann, and Amy Hennig have already fleshed out behind closed doors. But they have character archetypes for Drake and all the other characters set up, and they know the timelines for those characters. And to then come in and be like, hey, here's more backstory of this character written by Joe Hollywood scriptwriter, and then try to act like it feeds into the games. I'm not a huge fan of that.
I'm fine with it. I feel like it doesn't mess with the games.
I feel like we've gotten the prequels through the video games already.
Yeah, that too.
It's based off
Thor and also Kid Drake.
They based it off of the Uncharted 3 segment.
Yeah,
it's like that idea, and I think that's fine because
they haven't based anything off of anything because there is no script to this movie. There's no movie.
The idea is based off of that. I know.
Plus, let's talk about Tom Holland for just half a sec. It's fine, but I'm so confused now because it's Sony who kind of still owns Spider-Man, but not really. And I don't know, there's so many weird things happening with this where he's now Spider-Man in Marvel, but they have to come to an agreement to make sure that happens. And in the end, Sony, I think, maybe has the last word on all Spider-Man creative properties. It's so strange.
Do you think that it was part of his contract when he was signing Spider-Man? You also have to be in another Sony picture?
Who the heck knows, man? I don't know.
I don't know.
I honestly don't think it has anything to do with that.
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just think it's like odd. Like,
it's a weird coincidence.
Yeah, it's like that's my only point with this. Not that the two are tied. There's no Uncharted crossover. I'm not saying that. I just think it's an odd.
No, some Sony exec looked at Tom Holland as Spider-Man, said, "You know who else is young and witty? Young Nathan Drake. Put him in the movie. That's going to be completely recognizable by everyone. Put him in a movie." Like, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just going to take the most recognizable young face of an upcoming star and slap him in an action adventure movie. It's going to be young Indiana Jones. Just with
they're not going to slap him in anything because this will never get made. Again, it's been in development since I think 2008.
I'm telling you, this is just the business behind it.
Let's get out of this. Enough theorizing about movies that will never exist, let alone video game movies that will never exist, because there will never be a good video game movie anyway.
Wreck-It Ralph was good.
That's not a video game movie. Sorry, not a video game movie.
It's a movie with video games. It's
yeah,
different.
those are different things. Same with Pixels, which I know you brought up last week when we talked about something else.
So bad.
Why did you watch it? Let's talk about other things that are so bad. Just kidding. This is going to be amazing. Mario Cross Rabbids. We saw the art. It's really good. I can't wait for this game.
you stop. That's going to be so bad, dude.
I'm ironically very excited for this. Like, I won't shut up about it. Like, to the people I work with at DualShockers, so much so that I think it's like starting to be annoying. This looks so bad. It really does.
It looks awful.
I'm waiting to see gameplay, but I mean, the Rabbids are the minions.
Give us a hot take. World. Enough of the waiting to see.
Hey, man,
hot take.
The minions are the Rabbids of cinema. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I do not. Seeing Selfie Peach Rabbid is a nightmare fuel. It's why does Mario have a gun? Like,
he killed man.
It sucks that this got out before they could put a trailer, because now everyone is making up what they think is how bad this game is gonna be, and it could be a good game, could be fine. Who knows?
This is what I'm gonna say about it. All right, you ready? So he's wearing a gun, right? Do you know what kind of gun that is?
I think there's actually a name in the doc for it.
No, it's Samus Aran's gun. All right.
No, don't trash this. Don't do this to me.
This is
stop.
The prequel to the next Metroid game.
God, no. Stop.
Metroid Mario.
What if
coming out 2019?
What if Samus in the next Metroid game took her helmet off?
It's Mario, dude.
No, worse. It's a Rabbid.
Dude.
But she's already taken her helmet off before.
This is the gritty reboot.
The gritty reboot.
Yeah, because then it'll go into
that Metroid needed.
It'll go into the story behind it, and it turns out that the Rabbids killed Samus and took her place.
It's
the one enemy Samus couldn't beat.
That would be messed up. The game itself, based off the slides that leaked, it's like it sounds like it's a turn-based combat, but you don't.
So I mean, it's what we've
the
talked
characters.
About before. I mean, it's no turn-based. You control them in turn-based. I mean,
it
says there's the movement of a Mario game and the turn-based combat of an RPG. So it sounds like it's going to be Paper Mario, or it sounds like it's going to be Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi, stuff like that.
There's a bullet point. No, there's literally a bullet point. You control a character named Tutorial. You have no direct control of the heroes.
Yeah, look at I didn't see that one, but I did see that it said there's another slide that actually
exploration.
Shows there's a small thumbnail image of the world, and it looks like Mario and Luigi or something like that.
Yeah,
the same slide.
We're talking about the same thing, the same slide. You control some other character and they walk around. I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I've heard some people say weirdly, and I've never played XCOM, but I've heard people say it sounds like XCOM in that way. But
that's
again, I've never played.
Cool.
So again, we really don't know what this game is going to look like until we actually
key art, and it was cringy, and that was about it.
It's pretty spooky.
I like that they got real creative with the Rabbids. I just made them Peach Rabbid.
Luigi Rabbid.
Sassy. Hashtag sassy, no filter. Yeah.
Also, maybe, but it kept saying something about them all being kick-ass or badasses in the doc, something like that. I'm like anything that you could construe as any sort of swearing near Nintendo characters is just massive disconnect in my head.
Well, again, these were internal slides.
Yeah, they are. I think they call Peach a badass or something like that.
They do.
Yeah. So
no, and again, this internal stuff, I doubt they're going to use this in the marketing. Nintendo would never publicly let that be associated with their characters.
But it is now, kind of, because it's.
I guess, yeah.
It's
we'll see how
it comes down. It looks or September or something in there, because they say they're revealing. The docs also say there's the reveal in June, July they market it, and then it's out after that.
In August.
So it sounds like an August release.
My one question,
very quick.
My one question,
about to storm if you hear thunder on my end.
Is it revealed at the Nintendo E3 event or the Ubisoft E3 event?
It's Ubisoft. I've said this forever. Ubi's developing it. I stand by that.
Well, they'd be developing it, but are they the ones to reveal it the day before Nintendo?
I think so. I mean, you can you could tie them together too. Be like, here's the reveal.
Just reveal it twice.
You can hear more tomorrow. Those presentations.
Okay.
Do a 2-part thing, because that's what they do with some of those sometimes, where it's like, wait till you see part 2 of the demo later tonight at Sony's conference, and it's like, oh, okay, sure, we'll do that. So holy crap, it's raining really hard at my house. Hopefully there's not a tornado that kills me. Anyway,
or power goes out.
That too. So maybe we should finish up. Last news story of the week: Lawbreakers PS4. So Cliff Bleszinski's next multiplayer shooter is coming to PS4. Kind of surprising, but they've also been hinting at it for a really long time. But they've also doubled down time and time again, saying it's going to be PC only. So
that's cool.
It's really cool though. Like, I'm stoked to play it. I think I'm going to get to play it at E3. Maybe not 100% sure.
It looks like another hero shooter, which is fine with me.
Kind of, not really. This one's been in development for a while. Before, I mean, we've known about this game before Overwatch ever hit. There's hero elements to it. Yes, I mean, each of the characters plays individually. I still like the term hero shooter. I do. That's because of Overwatch. It used to be class based, or I guess
like class shooter or something.
Yeah, Team Fortress and those guys had that back in the day. But now it is more like specific names than it is an archetype of a class. So I guess that's why it's hero shooters now. Anyway, looks really good though. Like, I'm totally excited to play this. They announced the price point as well. They originally, I think, I think that's Drawn to Death that it was originally going to be free to play, and then they just announced the flat. Drawn to Death. Well, I think Cliffy B was about how he was playing around with that idea too, I think, early on, but then they decided to do the same thing and just go with the flat rate. So that's cool. $30. The game looks super fun. Like, I'm excited to play it at E3 or in the future. They still haven't given a release date or anything like that, but also very interesting that they're bringing it to just PS4 right now. They haven't said Xbox a little bit and how maybe in the future it'll come there as well, but it makes sense. PS4 is like the best.
Yeah, and Sony's pretty good at scooping up deals.
But still, Cliff has a history of working with Microsoft. No, so there's that.
Yeah.
But it looks cool, dude. I'm super excited to play the game. Looking forward to it for a while. Cliff knows how to nail gameplay. So I think this will be no less than a solid title. So
trailer was cool. I have no experience with his games, so
you haven't played Gears at all. I always forget that. So
interesting.
Or Unreal, which is more of what this is a callback to.
Nope, nothing.
Chris in the comments says that Cliffy B hates Phil Spencer and all of Microsoft. So I guess there's that, which I don't think is true because he's actually talked about them this week. Anyway, that's it for the show. We had topics this week too. Max has to go to work because he's a worker boy. That hard-earned money, working on a Sunday evening before a holiday day. Happy Memorial Day to everyone in the States tomorrow. Or is that an international holiday?
State thing.
Is it a state thing? Okay, so there's that. Happy Memorial Day tomorrow to everybody. We had topics, or at least one. It was about E3, but we'll talk about that next week or not talk about show. So let's do the quick rundown of that. Next week, 96 is going to be our predictions episode. As we said last week, will be doing predictions for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, as well as 5 at-large predictions for all of the collective third parties that will be having conferences. So Ubisoft, EA, and Bethesda, we will be having 5 collective predictions. Bethesda. We will be having 5 collective predictions for the 3 of those developers/publishers. So 20 predictions in all. So we're working on that for next week. Not sure. Obviously not the one that Max was running by us. Isn't going to work for reasons, and I actually don't know if it'll work that we would potentially think of as well for the same reason. But we may have a guest on, we may not. Might be Max and myself yelling back and forth to each other for an hour and a half or so. So that's next week, and then after that will be E3, and we'll give you a rundown of what we're going to do with that as well next week. But yeah, anything else next week that I'm forgetting, Max?
No, the episode's going to go up right away.
Yeah, it will go up right away. So we'll record next week on Sunday like normal, and then we're going to put it up ASAP so that you can hear our predictions before conferences start. On Saturday now, which means not a whole lot of time to listen to the predictions episodes, and we're doing it at kind of the last minute so that we can make sure that everybody's news is out of their systems before we go predicting that Red Dead Redemption gets a release date of one of these shows or something like that. Like, get all the news out of the way before we do our predictions. So that's what we're aiming for. So that'll be next week. But for this episode, thank you again for joining us this week for episode number 95. You can find us on where should we start this week? What do you want to start with, Max?
Where they can find us?
Yeah. Place they can find
Twitter.
Us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find this show on Twitter at MGS Podcast. And Model Citizens, the podcasting brand, on Twitter as well. You can find myself on Twitter. I am at Moreman12. You can find Max on Twitter. He is at Max the White, which is Michael's favorite Twitter handle. And you can find Michael on Twitter as well. He's at super_. Be sure to go follow us all over there. You can also email this show at mgspodcast@gmail.com with any questions, comments, or concerns you have. Let us know what you think about Red Dead's delay. Let us know what you think about Tom Holland being cast for the Uncharted movie that's never going to come out. Let us know what you think about all that stuff. We'd love to hear from you. You can also Citizens and all of our other shows at modelcitizensmedia.com, as well as, like I said, at ModelPod. So be sure to go listen to the Model Citizen show and Behind the Pixel. And I almost said
Beneath the Pixel. All right. It's Beneath the Pixel.
I'm just seriously screwing with my head.
Behind the Pixel.
You can find Behind the Pixel.
Comes out June 5th.
Yeah, next episode will be out next week. So you can find that as well. You can also find, which is the music podcast that Michael and myself do. You can go find older episodes of that on the website as well.
Yeah.
We're also on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud for this show as well. So you can find us on all of those platforms. And if you could take the star review specifically on iTunes, that would be amazing. We would appreciate it so much. It just helps us get the show in more people's ears. But that is it for episode 95 this week. Our YouTube. On YouTube, you can find us at Millennial Gaming Speak and Model Citizens Media on YouTube as well. Like, share, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 all that good YouTuber garbage that people scream at you. That's it for episode 95. Michael, thank you for coming on and talking to us about Yakuza 0 and ARM.
Thank you. Anytime. I love this podcast, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh,
so
shucks.
Thank you for joining us, Michael. We'll have you back on again soon. We're still trying to figure out something special to do for 100. So maybe more news on that.
Probably available. So
we may be pulling from a lot of people. We'll try to figure that one out. More news on episode 100 and what we're going to do for that in the next couple weeks after we get E3 out of. That is our main objective right now. But more news on that in the coming weeks. But myself and Michael, thank you very much. Have a good week. Have a good Memorial Day, like I said. And until next week, we love you. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye.